Hello, I am Russell Earl Kelly. What I am about to present is an adaptation of my essay, Tithing is Not a Christian Doctrine. And the essay is from my book, Should the Church Teach Tithing? A Theologian's Conclusions About a Taboo Doctrine. And the book is from my PhD thesis on the subject. The materials and the text for this study can be found on my website, www.shouldthechurchteachtithing.com. It is my purpose to stimulate in Bible seminary studies in the master's, the doctorate, and the PhD levels, studies on tithing. In my opinion, this is simply too important a doctrine to ignore. Tithing today is reaching the levels, I believe, of a modern scandal. Whereas most churches in the United States did not even teach it before the 1870s, and whereas theological seminaries barely mention it in their books, studies of hermeneutics and systematic theology, it is becoming a requirement in most churches to hold church office. And even in some churches, it is becoming a requirement for church membership. A statement from a large conservative church in the United States reads, "Tithing is the minimum biblical standard and the beginning point which God has established that must not be replaced or compromised by any other standard." Tithing is the minimum biblical standard and the beginning point which God has established that must not be replaced or compromised by any other standard. And this statement is followed by another statement which says tithing is an expectation from church members from their gross income before taxes. What I am going to present is what I believe the Bible teaches about tithing in contrast with this statement we have just heard. Essay point number 1. New covenant giving principles in 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9 are superior to tithing. New covenant giving principles in 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9 are superior to tithing. I sincerely believe this to be true. They are, number 1, give yourself to God first. If you're not a child of God, no amount of giving will help you. Give yourself to knowing God's will. Give in response to Christ's gift. Give out of a sincere desire. Do not give because of any commandment. Give beyond your ability. Give to produce equality. For many Christians, that means more than 10%, but for many it also means less than 10%. The new covenant has this equality principle. It evens out in the end. Give joyfully. Give because you are growing spiritually. Give because you want to continue growing spiritually. And finally, give because you're hearing the gospel preached. Those are the new covenant giving principles found in 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9.